experiencing creative blocks, we need to look at what's going on in our lives. What emotions am I pushing down? What is causing this stagnant energy? This practice is a yin-yang practice to help calm the nervous system, connect into your body so that you can start to tap into those blocks. And then we start to shift it through with movement, allowing that energy to flow freely once more. For today's practice, I'll be using one folded blanket, 2 yoga blocks, and a strap. Now, if you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine. Just grab a couple of thick books, or you could even use a chair. Before we get started, just a little bit of a shout out. Today I am wearing this gorgeous t-shirt by the incredibly talented artist Mollekin. I absolutely just adore this Kiwiana inspired t-shirt. And if you'd like to find out a little bit more about her work, I will pop the website into the description. So let's get started. For this first pose, we're going to be setting up for a butterfly forward fold. So you're going to grab a folded blanket, and you can have it on any level you like. And then from here, you're just going to sit onto the edge of your folded blanket. And if you want a little bit more height, so you get a little bit more of that anterior tilt of your pelvis, you can just fold it a little bit higher. So I'm just coming and sitting on the edge of my blanket. I'm going to draw the soles of my feet together. Then my knees fall apart to the sides. Now, if you wanted support for underneath your thighs, you could actually have your blocks also under each side. Which could feel comfortable too. I'm just going to walk my sitting bones back a little bit, so I'm getting a little bit more tilt on my pelvis and I'm able to fold forward a little bit more. And from here, I'm just going to inhale and lengthen my spine, and then exhale as I start to fold forward. And then as you find your comfortable position, start to settle into your stillness. Taking a moment to tune into the breath. And taking your awareness down to your tailbone. I want you to start to inhale the breath and rise it all the way up to the spine, up the spine. And then as you exhale, I want you to see the breath separate into 2 as it goes down the back of your body, down the ribs, all the way back down to your tailbone. Inhale the breath once more, traveling all the way up the spine. And then just exhaling as you visualize the breath separating into 2. And then going back down the body, down the rib cage on both sides. All the way back down to the tailbone. And then just continue with that visualization. And then just letting that go now, I want you to just imagine with each breath as you feel like the back of your body is just expanding out. As you inhale, the back of the body starts to expand. And then as you exhale, it starts to draw back in. Inhale, feel the back of your body expand out. And as you exhale, feel it drawing back in. And just continue just holding that visualization for a few more rounds of breath. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, we're just going to slowly start to rise back up. Just taking your time. And then take your hands to the outsides of your thighs as you slowly draw your legs back in, and let's just stretch them out here. Have a little bit of a bounce up and down. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So you've got your folded blanket here. You might like to use that to support behind your head. And then from here, I'm going to slide both of my legs into a bench knee. And then I'm going to draw my left leg in towards the chest, and then I'm going to take it slightly out to the outside width of my body. And then I'm going to take the sole of my foot so that it's pointing up towards the roof, and I'm going to use my hands just to draw that leg down. Now this right leg could stay in a bench knee, or you could slide it out, so it's whatever feels more comfortable. I'm going to just demonstrate having it in a bench knee. We'll just take that moment to come back to the breath. And with each breath, can you feel your exhale growing longer? Can you feel it getting more smoother? The more calmer and smoother we can make our breath, the more calmer we're going to feel on the inside. And about now, just start to notice any sensations that might be occurring. What's starting to draw up to this surface? What thoughts are arising in your mind? Let's take about 3 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're just going to slowly just release that leg down, and let's just straighten it out along your mouth. Just finding some stillness. Allowing any achiness to arise up and then vanish as quickly as it arises. Using the breath to just release and let go. And then when you're ready, we're going to slide both of our legs back into that bent knee again. This time I'm going to draw that right leg in towards the chest. Take that right leg to the outside width of the body, and then I'm going to take the sole of the foot so that it's pointing up towards the ceiling. I'm going to use my hands to grab hold of the thigh and just draw that leg down. This left leg could be in a bent knee, or you can choose to slide it out if that feels more comfortable, just finding what works for your body. Once you're in your comfortable position, let's start to close the eyes down. Tune back into the breath. And once again, starting to lengthen on that exhale. Making it calmer, making it smoother. And then noticing again any sensations arising. And just noticing without judgment. And as you connect into that sensation, what feelings are starting to arise? Is there fear? Is there anger? Is there sadness? And just keep allowing that emotion as it rises to the surface. And I want you to use that breath to allow it to just flow out, rather than just pushing down. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then very slowly let's start to release that leg down. Straighten it out along your mat. And let's just pause here in stillness. Take a deep inhale, breath in, and exhale as the breath flows down the body, down your legs, out through your feet. Take one more deep breath in, and exhale, send the breath down the body, down towards the feet. And then very slowly, let's just slide our legs back into our bent knee. And I'm going to place my left ankle just above my right knee. From here, I'm going to have my strap handy. And I'm either going to reach through, grab hold of the back of my thigh and draw that leg towards me. We've got a couple of options here. Or we can grab our strap. So we don't want to be placing too much tension into the shoulders and neck in order to draw that leg towards us. So if you feel like it is doing that, then we want to just take our strap and loop it around the back of that thigh and use the strap to draw the leg. Now another option could be is if you do have yoga blocks, to make it really effortless, you could just place that block underneath that foot and hold it there. So just finding that position that's the most comfortable for you. And then settle back into some stillness. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. And then very slowly we're going to start to just release that strap or our arms, sliding it out. If you've got a block underneath your foot, just popping that out to the side. So we're back down onto the floor. My left leg's still just staying just above my right knee, and then I'm going to take a twist. I'm going to take my arms into a T shape, and then I'm going to twist over towards that right side. So now that my left sole of the foot is pressing into the floor, my knees pointing up. If you can't get your foot all the way over, you could place a block, or if you've got some cushions handy, just place them underneath. And we're going to hold it here. And settle back into your stillness and just relax the body down, settling into your shape nicely. And with each breath, see if you can just relax that body just a little bit deeper into your shape. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Very slowly, let's just start to rise our legs back up to center, just popping out any props you might be using. And then we're going to take a twist onto that left side this time. So my left leg's staying exactly where it is, and we're just popping over to that left side. So I'll pop my blocks out of the way. Here, if you want some support for that left leg, you can place your block, cushion or bolster, whatever you've got handy, and place it underneath that thigh. Once you've found that comfortable position, just closing the eyes down once more. Tuning back into the breath. Now as we go through each shape, you're going to be noticing different sensations in different areas of the body. And this is all stuck in stored emotion. So use these practices to help tap into that and help to release. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then very slowly, let's just start to rise your legs back up to center. You can just release your left leg down now. We're just going to straighten it out along our mat and pause here for a few breaths. When you're ready, we're going to slowly slide those legs back into a bent knee. We're going to go on to the other side this time. So the right ankle now is coming just above that left knee. And we're going to use our hands to just reach through, draw that thigh towards you. Or alternatively, once again, you can grab hold of your strap. Use your strap to draw that leg towards you, or grab hold of your block. And you can just use your foot to support underneath that block. And just remembering that when you are holding these poses, if you do just find it just that little bit too much, ease off a little bit, so you can just come out a little bit out of the pose, or you can just come out of it and either go back into it to see if you can go a little bit longer, or just leave it. And over time you'll find you'll be able to hold poses longer and longer. Let's just hold it here for about 3 more breaths. Very slowly you can just release your strap here. Let your left leg go back down towards the ground. Pop your strap or blocks over towards the side. And from here we're going to take our arms back into our T shape. And then we're going to take a twist over towards the left side this time. So I want my right sole of the foot placed, pressing into the floor, and my right knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Once again, you could have your block underneath your right foot, just to elevate that foot if it's not quite going over. And just finding that comfortable position, close your eyes down once more and start to settle into your stillness. Let's take about 3 more rounds of breath here. And then very slowly, let's start to just rise those legs back up to center. Keeping my right leg where it is, I'm going to just take that twist this time over towards the right side. And if you want your block, of course, you can just place it underneath that right leg for some support. Tune back into the breath. And just not seeing if you can just relax a little bit deeper. Notice any tension that you might still be holding in the body. And you relax your shoulders, your arms. You relax your hips, your legs, your spine. Relax your jaw, your mouth, your eyes. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And very slowly, let's just rise those legs back up to center. Release your arms to your sides. And then you can just straighten out both your legs along your mat. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And then very slowly we're going to start to be moving into the movement part of our practice. So I'm going to draw my legs back into a bent knee, draw them in towards the chest. I'm going to take some jellyfish circles. So I've got my hands just below the knees and I'm taking my legs out wide into a V shape and then drawing them back into center. Just using that breath, so inhaling as the legs shift away and exhale as they're starting to rotate round. And then draw the legs back into center. Let's go in the opposite direction. And then come back to center, release the legs back down onto the floor. We're going to roll off to one side and make our way into our tabletop position. From my tabletop position, I want my wrists just underneath, stacked underneath my shoulders, my hands are nice and wide, and my legs are just hip width apart. If you want your folded blanket underneath your knees, if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, if you're on a hard floor, you're more than welcome to do that. We're going to start with a cat-cow. So I'm going to inhale and curl my sitting bones up. Draw my shoulders away from the ears, slight looking up at the head. Exhale as I press the mat away, round my upper spine, touch into chest. Inhale, curl the sitting bones up. Draw the shoulders away, softening into my elbows. And exhale, round the upper spine and touch into chest. And just continue on here for a couple more rounds. So we're going to start to shift that energy through our body. Come back to your neutral spine now, into your tabletop. We're going to sit back into a child's pose. Now I'm sitting back onto my heels. If it doesn't feel comfortable on the knees, just keep your hips high. So just lessening that deep knee flexion. I'm also just keeping my legs together. If it doesn't feel comfortable in the belly, big toes come together and you can take your knees wide. So then that's allowing space for your belly. From here, I'm going to then rise back up to my tabletop. I'm going to step my hands forward and slightly wider, tuck my toes and come up into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees down. If you're quite tight in the hamstrings and you want to get your hips nice and high. And then from here we're going to roll our shoulders forward so that they're over our wrists and we're into a plank. Draw your belly in. And then we're going to lower our knees back down into our tabletop, sit back towards our heels, forehead to floor. And we're going to do that a few times. So inhale back up to your tabletop. Exhale, step hands wider, tuck toes, come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, roll shoulders forward over the wrists, come into your high plank, draw your belly in. And exhale, lower knees down towards the ground, untuck the toes and sit back into your child's pose. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll shoulders forward over your wrists, come into your high plank. Tuck your chin, and then lower knees down towards the ground, sit back towards the heels, forehead to floor. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up to tabletop, exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll shoulders forward, into your high plank. Exhale, lower knees down towards the ground, back towards the heels, forehead to floor. Slowly rise back up to your tabletop, and then we're going to make our way into a standing position with your legs just hip width apart. Roll your shoulders back and down, and let's inhale, sweep the arms above the head. And then exhale as you draw them into heart center. Inhale. So this movement here helps to clear that stagnant energy. One more time, inhale. This time as you exhale, you're going to take right hand on hip, left hand over top of head, come into a side stretch. And then inhale, sweep both arms back up. Exhale, take left hand on hip, right hand over top of head. Exhale, both back up. This time we're going to swan dive, so taking our hands out to the sides. We're going to bend into the knees and fold forward as we come into a standing forward bend. This is where you could grab your blocks. So you could have your blocks underneath your hands. Now if you don't have yoga blocks and you feel like you need some support, you could have a chair. So you could just place your chair and hands on top of the seat. From here, just relax your head, neck and shoulders down. Just letting that blood flow all the way down to the head. And then we're going to inhale our hands up to our fingertips and halfway lift or onto our shins. We're going to draw the belly in. We're pressing our sitting bones right back. So just like we would be doing if we were doing a cow pose. Shoulders are away from the ears. And then I'm going to exhale as I fold back forward. Inhale, hands up to shins or onto your fingertips. Halfway lift, draw your belly in. Sitting bones are pressing right back. And exhale, fold forward. And from here, we're going to draw the belly in. Let's inhale, sweep our hands all the way back up. And exhale into heart center. We're going to do that movement one more time. So inhale. Exhale into prayer. Inhale. Exhale into heart center. One last time. Inhale. Exhale, right hand on hip, left hand over top of head, side stretch. Inhale, sweep palms back up. Exhale, left hand on hip, right hand over top of head. Inhale, sweep hands back, both back up. Exhale, it's swan dive, fold forward, coming into your standing forward bend. Inhale, hands up to fingertips or onto shins, halfway lift. Draw belly in, sitting bones are pressing right back. Tuck chin to chest. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands back into shins, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Draw the belly in, let's inhale, sweep those hands all the way above the head. Exhale into prayer. We're going to then come down onto our bellies. And then we're going to just lower ourselves down. We want our hands just underneath our shoulders. I want to tuck my elbows into the ribs so I'm rolling and sliding those shoulder blades down. So we're going to just do some rolling baby cobras. So I want my forehead to be pressing into the floor. Relax your glutes muscles down, pressing into the top of your feet. And we're going to inhale, just rise ourselves up, just halfway, it's not a big movement. Exhale back down. Inhale, press into the top of the feet, slowly rising. Exhale back down. One more time, inhale. And exhale down. This time I'm going to have my hands down towards my sides. And I'm going to inhale and rise, just my left leg up and my upper body up. And exhale down. Inhale, rise your right leg up. Upper body is coming up as well. Exhale back down. I'm going to do one more on each side. Inhale, left leg up. Chest is rising up. Exhale back down. And inhale, rise right leg up. And chest is rising up. And exhale down. Let's take our hands underneath our shoulders, press ourselves back up. And we're going to make our way into our final shape, which is our Shavasana. So you could have your blanket underneath your head, or you could choose to cover yourself up with your blanket. Arms to the sides. And close your eyes down. And depending on how much time you have, you can stay here for as long as you like. I really hope you enjoyed that practice. If you are looking to purchase some yoga props, I have got a couple of bolsters that I'm now selling. Brand called Tribe, so I've got some bolsters, I'm selling blocks and straps and eye pillows. So if you're in need of some props, they're not up on my website yet, so just private message me and I can send you all the details.